what they told me, and that showing her the area, the room.
She's taking a look in the room.
Yes, sir.
And then finally, in the last slide here, what time are we at here?
12:43.
All right, so this would be almost 3 hours after your original arrival.
Yes, sir.
You got there at 9:54, 12:43, almost 3 hours.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what are we seeing here? What is happening here?
That is Lieutenant Foster, Detective Lemon, Captain Wright, and that is Captain Bandrich. Let's see the other person.
And that's Detective Lemons on the far right.
Yes, sir.
And what is she doing?
I guess they all briefing about the case. They're talking to each other about the case.
Okay, talking about the plan to take
Yes, sir.
everybody to headquarters and conduct formal interviews.
I think that's what they was doing.
Okay. Let me ask you a little bit about the defendant's demeanor. Okay, I want to go back to when you first got there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you responded to missing children calls before?
Yes, sir.
About how many do you think you've responded to, if you had to estimate?
You want a number? I can't tell you a number. It's been quite a few, sir. Quite a few.
More than 10, less than 10?
Or more than 10.
Okay. And have you had the opportunity to observe the demeanor of parents calling in that their child is missing and reaching out to the police for help?
Yes, sir.
What is it normally like?
Most of the time when we get to a residence where a child is missing, mother's upset. She's hysterical. She's crying. She's telling us, what are you standing here for? Talking to me? You should be out looking for my child. You're wasting time. And they're so hysterical, a lot of times you can't talk to them.
Was the defendant like that in this case?
No, sir.
Did you view her demeanor as consistent with that of other parents that you've spoken to in missing children cases?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay. Let me go back to the first slide. I guess this is actually the second slide. Do you see this here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, does it look to you like the defendant is crying?
Looked like she's trying to cry.
Is that what it looked like to you that day at the time that she was trying to cry?
Yes, sir.
Did it appear to you that she was actually crying? No.
I mean, there was some, you could see there was some water on her face, but it wasn't like I told you. She wasn't hysterical. She wasn't crying, just crying out. Well, you saw big tears coming out of her.
Okay. One moment, please. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, in just a moment, Sergeant. Mr. Hilliard may have some questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sergeant Stewart, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, Sergeant Stewart, you were one of the first ones to respond on the scene that day, correct?
Yes, sir. One of them.
All right. And I'm curious, you said you have 35 years worth of experience in law enforcement, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, in your 35 years of experience in law enforcement and you arrive on the scene of a crime, what's one of the first things you've been trained to do?
Go up and make contact with the complainant.
And then what next?
Talk to him, find out what's going on.
Okay, and then what next?
If I need to call in other resources, I do.
Okay. Now, in a case like this where there may have been an abduction that took place or transpired, especially from inside the home, would you secure the scene?
Yes, sir. That's what we had other officers to do that.
Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. So you had officers do that. Which officers were doing that exactly?
Let's see who I had out there. I had quite a few officers out there that day, sir. I know I had Jepson was there after they had searched the house. He came down. And Gormley, he came down.
Okay.
And for you talking about security scene,